would like to welcome everyone back to the Skylemar Star interview series, where we chat with Skylemar guys throughout the world, who can share their camp stories, both on and off camp property, camp connections, and life beyond the 04055. Today's guest is Toby Altman. Toby is a 7-year camper. Is that right, Toby? Seven? Okay. Beginning
Yeah.
in
hmm
2017. His dad was a camper as well. And Toby, I would describe Toby as being someone at camp who's highly regarded by all as just a great dude who always does the right thing, is kind, is fun, probably mature beyond your years in many ways, and is very much the type of person that we want our Skylemar guys to grow up and be like. And Toby's done some really cool things this year, both in school and out of school, that I'm gonna probably be asking him about. And he's also the only JC eligible interviewee we've interviewed thus far. And Toby is a current junior at the Bullis School. You're a junior, right, Toby?
Sophomore, junior
Sophomore,
next year,
rising junior.
almost.
Pardon me, rising
Yeah.
junior.
hmm
And awesome, even younger. So we're excited to welcome him today. So Toby, first question for you, my friend, is tell us a little bit about your background with Skylemar, how you started hearing about Skylemar and what it was like for you as a kid. And if you want to talk to me about kind of your trajectory and bunk order and um, all things Skylemar for you, Toby. Tell me about it.
All right. Well, of course, I learned about Skylemar through my family. It's run like deep through generations. I'm the third generation. Started with my grandpa, then my uncle and my dad. Got down to me, and it was when I was first like looking at camps around like 8 to 9 years old. I was looking at two different camps. I knew Skylemar, and I think my mom was showing me another one. And I took a visit to Skylemar, didn't see our camp. On the way back, I said, I don't want to see it. I already like this place. It's where I'm gonna spend my summers. And I chose right because that was an amazing thing. In that year, I started in bunk five with I returning camper. I'm forgetting the counselor's name. He was my counselor, and I think he was a great counselor that like shaped me as a person. And I learned a lot about sports through him as a former camper. I can't remember his name, but he was great. Then I went to bunk 10, bunk 12, and then COVID year, skipped all the way to bunk 18 on the slant. Then I went to 23 and 27 and 30 finally last year.
Oh, I love it. And talk to me really quickly. So you are one of the few people that can say that they were at Skylemar through the pandemic. Can you talk to me a little bit about like perhaps your apprehension coming into that year? You were excited for the normalcy of being at camp. Obviously, it was a little bit different with how we did things, but talk to me about that phase of life for you and how camp played a role in it.
Well, yeah, during that time, I was kind of just stuck inside and didn't know what was going to happen over the summer. Nobody really knew if we were going to have camp or not. And I think Skylamar deciding that they were going to have camp was amazing, and nobody really expected it. And that's why it was so great that we could have 4 weeks, even just 4 weeks of just an amazing place. And I got to see like a bunch of people that sometimes only go second session. They could experience that full like first session, and they could meet people who only went first session usually. And I thought that was an amazing mix in my bunk. Like I got to see people who I usually only see for half the year, talk to people that I would only see on the other half of the year. And it created like this amazing atmosphere in my bunk. And especially all over camp, you can notice it that like everyone was meeting new people, and it was just great to be there with people at camp instead of staying inside during that quarantine time.
Right. Awesome. And so you mentioned the third generation piece, but this summer was, I think, your first opportunity where you had a family member at camp that was younger than you. And so talk to me a little bit what it was like having a cousin at Skylemar and what that relationship was like for you.
That was an amazing experience my last year, especially having Dylan at camp. I felt like I could like show him the ways around camp and show him how it is to be part of Skylemar. And it was amazing because no other year had I had like someone related to me at camp. So I felt that connection and that responsibility to teach him the ropes of everything. And I think he had an amazing year. So that was I was grateful for that.
Awesome. How's Dylan doing? When's the last time you saw him?
I went on a streak. We went to the AFC Ravens game, which
What?
was amazing. Yeah.
No
Then he
way.
came he went to the Maryland game actually,
Cool.
which was amazing. I got to see him there. He got to spend time with Pop, and so that was an amazing experience.
Heck yeah. So cool. All right. And so, as I mentioned before, we want to try to highlight Skylemar guys that are doing great things beyond camp. And so, through you directly and through the article that was posted, we heard about your recent scholarship and fundraising efforts for what I'm what I read was for a scholarship supporting an athlete at the University of Maryland in honor of your grandfather. And so tell me a little bit about that. It sounds like you kind of connected that to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society piece. So tell me about all that cool stuff that you've been doing, Toby.
Yeah, that was something amazing that we were able to do. So I was running the Leukemia Lymphoma fundraiser in honor of him, and my dad thought it would be a great idea if we connected both the fundraiser lacrosse game to that like scholarship possibly to get it. And it was just amazing that we were able to do that. And I hope that it goes to like a great person who really earns it. And I want to actually note that my grandpa was like given an opportunity to go to Skylemar through Lee, your grandpa too. And I kind of saw that connection in the scholarship that like he's giving an opportunity for a young person to learn lacrosse and get better at it through Maryland. And my grandpa learned lacrosse and was got so much better, and that's where he learned his love at Skylemar. And I think that this scholarship is just a great representation of him like wanting to keep educating and motivating people to learn sports. And I'm grateful that we were able to do it.
That's so awesome. I love that. So the raising money for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So that was your idea, and then your dad connected the dots, thinking this would be cool to connect it back to lacrosse at the University of Maryland. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so he thought it'd be a great idea that he has a scholarship as like he's a Hall of Famer in the Maryland lacrosse, and he thought it'd be a great and be very meaningful for him to be able to give an opportunity to a young athlete and give them an opportunity to become better as a person and as a lacrosse player. And Maryland agreed with it. They thought it was an amazing idea, and I was shocked. I was like, wow, okay, we can do this. And that gave me a lot of confidence to move forward with the lacrosse game and get it done. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, that's so cool. So did you wind up reaching out to University of Maryland administration, the athletic director? How'd you do it?
Yeah, we talked to the athletic director, I'm pretty sure, and he was open, he was very excited, and we scheduled it for like 2 weeks before the game, and they were open to it, that was amazing. They were ready to just do it, snap with the finger 2 weeks before.
That's awesome. I love it. Really cool, man. And yeah, a testament to again, I think your maturity and ability to make things happen. So it's really cool. But tell us a little bit about your grandfather. Tell us about your pop and what he's like, what he's meant to you in your life.
Well, I mean, the obvious is he's a great lacrosse player, and he was inspiring to me in my life, not only athletically though. He's just like a humble, inspiring character that I looked up to in my life, and he's just like a great all-around person. He's a big family person, loves his family. And I didn't know that he was a lacrosse star until like third grade. I was told at Skylemar by a camper, he was like, your dad Ray Altman? I had no clue. Like, I didn't know about his lacrosse career. I just knew he was this like amazing person in my life that I looked up to. And I learned that whole other side of his life and how he became a lacrosse player. Just a great person.
Yeah, awesome, really cool. And so originally, like, can you talk again a little bit more about what inspired you to do this?
The lacrosse game or the fundraiser?
I guess both.
Both. All right. Well, Pop was diagnosed with leukemia in spring of 2023. So I wanted to find a way to honor him and his legacy as not only an athlete, but as a person. And I thought this Leukemia Lymphoma Society was a great way to get my ideas through. And so we started promoting and fundraising in honor of him and raising money for Leukemia Lymphoma Society to hopefully benefit the research of cancer. And then I was thinking of other unique ways to honor him. And I came up with the idea of this lacrosse game, which I thought was the perfect idea. It connects him to that fundraising and gives people more of like a personal connection that they could both see in person. And that's where we came up with it. And we're lucky to have gotten it done. I think he loved it.
I love it. Cool, man. And I guess I'm just kind of going off script here, thinking about what you did. Like, it's we raise money at Skylemar to contribute to World of Change, and we kind of connected that to the term "cool to care." And I know this past year we had the Cool to Care Clinic, which you signed up for, I think, with Dylan, and where we did some cool things to kind of give to others. Talk to me a little bit about what that means to you in terms of like the cool to care piece. I really truly feel like you are so much of the living embodiment of it. But talk to me about that and about doing for others and just kind of your relationship with helping other people.
Yeah, I think I was thinking a lot about cool to care when I was doing this. I was thinking like how can I help other people and help my grandpa at the same time and people suffering from cancer. And I was thinking like we did the world of change and that was definitely something that inspired me to do this. I thought if we could raise money, it'd be amazing to do something cool to care for the community all around the world. And yeah, cool to care. Just completely like inspired me to do this. And I think I got that through like the idea of looking at like people at camp and how much they care about people around them. And I thought I wanted to spread that around the world and around help support people who are suffering from like the worst disease in the world, basically. And I just thought it'd be cool to help people.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And talk to me a little bit about what the future has in store for you, Toby. So sophomore in high school, the world is your oyster, but talk to me about the type of person you want to be and the things that you want to do. If you have goals, aspirations for the rest of your life, and thoughts.
Wow. Well, my goals for the future currently, I'm playing tennis. I would love to, make it up the ranks in the lineup of the tennis varsity tennis. So that's my goal right now. I'm working towards that. But I'd love to continue helping people. That's a major goal. I'd love to keep doing stuff like LLS, keep supporting people in my life and people around me, because those are the people that like truly care. And I don't know, in the future, anything I could do anything. I just hope to continue helping people, continue playing sports. Major thing in my life.
Love it. And what advice, Toby, would you be willing to give to other kids who maybe are interested in helping other people but don't really know how and how, like how and maybe the avenues with which to make it happen, like with you being proactive with making this lacrosse game happen? What advice would you give to other kids maybe in school about how to raise awareness and do things for a cause they might be interested in?
I mean, the one main thing of advice I could give out is just do it. You just have to like push yourself, put yourself out there. Like I wasn't at first, I wasn't comfortable with like talking in a big crowd or asking people for stuff, and I just pushed myself out of my comfort zone. And I sent an email to the athletic director of Maryland, and it went through. It was just like if you put yourself out there and if you push yourself out of your comfort zone, you can get anything done. There's nothing stopping you from doing anything you want.
Awesome. Really well said. I love it. And now I'm going to do just a couple rapid fire questions for you about Skylemar and your Skylemar experiences. So when I say the term favorite Skylemar memories, what are things that come to mind for you, Toby?
Oh, easy. COVID year on the slant. I know I had like a kind of a lockdown. I don't know if you remember that because the hurricane where they brought like snacks and food into the bunk.
Uh-huh.
It was just a huge bonding moment between me and my bunk and everyone there, both first and second session, just sitting in the bunk talking. That was like a top tier memory for me at Skylemar.
Wow, I love it. I would never have thought of that. That's awesome. And talk to me about what advice you would give either to your younger self or to younger kids coming to Skylamar for maybe their first year this summer.
uh Take everything you're given. Like there you've given so many resources at Skylamar and take advantage of that. Like learn every sport you can, learn every skill you can, meet everyone you can. There's so many people at camp and they all have great different personalities and it's just like you never see that anywhere else in the world. So take advantage of it now because it flies by.
I love it. And then last question here is kind of it could be similar to what you just described with the hurricane example, but what's something that's great about camp that people don't really talk about that maybe only people at Skylamar know about, or just something that maybe an outsider wouldn't really think about?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta think about that one. It'd be definitely just like meeting people all across the world that you would never have met without camp. Like many of my friends live on the opposite side of camp. Like previous color war captain Michael, he lives LA. Would have never met him. He's a great guy that I was able to meet through camp, and now I have like a strong relationship with him that I would have never had before camp.
Love it. And do you have a favorite Skylamar counselor of all time? Would you be willing to share, and why?
Yeah, I had him for JC. And then I had him 2 years as a counselor, Jake Glickman. I thought he was a great counselor. I know his camper years might not have been the greatest, but I think he changed and he learned a lot from camp and became a great counselor for me.
It's awesome. I love it. Cool. Well, and Toby, if people are interested seeing this about getting involved with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, with what you do at school, and even following up with your grandfather's scholarship, are there ways that people could still potentially get involved?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If they want to join LLS or anything, I just joined a specific thing called Student Visionaries of the Year, which is like a team-based system where you raise money as a team. And but LLS is always open to donations and fundraisers. So if you look at their site, they're always open to that. And I think the deadline just ended for my fundraiser, but it was amazing. I raised around like $20,000 towards cancer. So that was just an amazing. I doubled my goal, which was amazing. So if you want to get into any of that stuff, everyone is like all those places, they're always open to new people wanting to spread help around the world.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Tobe, there's a lot for all of us to do in following your example with being proactive with all this stuff. So thank you so much for positively impacting your community and world, and look forward to hopefully seeing you back at Skylamar soon.
Hmm. Thank you.